Last day of sequences and series. We are in geometric series. So what's a geometric series? It's just like arithmetic. It is a sum of the terms of a geometric sequence. The sum of the first n terms is denoted S sub n, and I say sub because it's a subscript. You can use either of the following formulas to find the partial sum. I tend to just use one formula. You can use either though, okay? S sub n is your sum, A sub 1 is your first term, R is your common ratio, N is how many terms you have, and R is your common ratio. All right, so example 5. 5 emails were sent at the beginning of the lesson. So that's your first term, 5 emails. If the pattern continues, a common ratio of a 5, what is the total number of emails being sent after 8 rounds? So 8 is your N. Okay, so I want to find the sum of the first 8 rounds. So A sub 1 is your first term. A sub 1 is your first term. R also happens to be 5, and then 8. 5 is your R. So I substitute in all those numbers. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. I just simply simplify the top, I wrote it down, divide. That means it'll be 488,280 emails. Okay, you can pause the video, you can just watch this, then stop and kind of write it down and do it yourself. Okay, here is a summation. Like we said, the summation represents a series. You're just adding up all the terms. So if you want to write this formula down, write it down and then substitute in what you know. You don't know the sum yet, but you know it's going to be 8 terms because it's 10 minus 3, which is 7, but add 1 back. Your common ratio is 2. If you couldn't figure that out, what you would do is you'd substitute in 3. So you'd get 2, 16. So your first term is 16. Okay. If you didn't know it was 2, keep substituting in numbers 3, 4, 5, and see the pattern. So the first one would be 16. The second number would be, well, you'd substitute in a 4 here. 2 to the third power would be 8. 8 times 4 is 32. So how do you get from 16 to 32? Times 2. That's one way you could figure it out. When you substitute everything in and simplify, you're going to get 4,080. And lastly, it says, find the first term if you know the sum, how many rounds, and the common ratio. So I know the sum, it's 13,166. I don't know the first term, so I'm leaving it. I know my common ratio is 3. I know my N is 7. I simplify it as much as I can, negative 2, 12187. I bring 2 to the other side to get this. And I have 1 A1 and 2187 A1. So we can just rearrange it so it looks better. And a 1 minus a negative 2187 is a negative 2186. I divide both sides and I get 12. Okay, you can try that on your own and play it as well. So really this one it's not hard either. You're just using a formula, substituting in your stuff, figuring it out, or solving for a missing piece. Okay, your homework's going to be page 678, 41 through 56.